You know those moments, right? That sudden thought of a friend right before they text you? Or a gut feeling you just can't seem to shake? Are those just random coincidences? Or are they maybe little glimpses into a much deeper, unseen connection that we all share? Well, let's dive in. We're going to explore this fascinating world where telepathy, intuition, and surprisingly, fear all meet. Seriously, think about it. Your phone buzzes in your pocket, and before you even pull it out, a person's name just pops into your head. And you're right. It's such a common experience, and it's actually the perfect place for us to start this whole conversation. And when I say common, I really mean it. If this has happened to you, you are not alone, not by a long shot. One study found that a staggering 67% of people, that's literally 2 out of every 3, say they've had what they would call a telepathic experience. So this isn't some fringe idea, it's a huge part of the human experience. Okay, so what are we really talking about when we use words like telepathy or intuition? Let's lay down some simple definitions so we're all starting from the same place. So the classic definition of telepathy goes way, way back to 1882, and it's exactly what you think it is: mind-to-mind communication. One person has a thought or a feeling, and someone else, somewhere else, just picks up on it. No talking, no body language, no physical stuff at all. Now, a close cousin to telepathy is this idea of clairsentience, which literally means clear feeling. This is more on the emotional side of things. It's less about hearing specific words and more about suddenly feeling someone else's joy or sadness, even if they're miles away. You can think of it as your emotional Wi-Fi. And look, these things show up in ways we all recognize. It's that sudden gut feeling telling you to do something, or just knowing what your partner's going to say before they even open their mouth. It's when your mood just tanks for no reason, and you find out later your sibling was having a really rough day. And of course, the classic. You think of someone and boom, their name lights up your phone. These are all the fingerprints of that unseen connection. So, is this all just in our heads? Are we just noticing the hits and forgetting all the misses? Or can we actually test this stuff? Well, some scientists have tried to do exactly that with a really cool experiment on what they call telephone telepathy. The folks behind this are from the Institute of Noetic Sciences, or IONS, and they're asking a super interesting question. Could this ability be genetic? Does it run in families? So they set up this whole experiment to see if people who are closer genetically, like family, are actually better at this kind of mind-to-mind link. Okay, I know this diagram looks a little complicated at first glance, but the idea behind it is actually pretty simple. The researchers basically created 2 different scenarios. You can see them here, Path A and Path B. Path A was designed to test if someone could predict a totally random future event. But Path B, that was designed to test if someone could feel the direct thoughts of another person in real time. Let's look a little closer. All right, here's the breakdown. In Path A, you're trying to guess who the computer is going to randomly pick to call you. It's a test of precognition, basically seeing the future. But in Path B, it's different. Another person, a sender, is already thinking about you, actively sending you good vibes while you're making your guess. This is a test for true telepathy. The key difference is all about timing. Are you sensing a random computer choice, or are you sensing a living person's focused intention right now? And you know, this kind of research really makes you step back and ask some huge questions. Like, is our consciousness, our mind, really just locked up inside our brain? Or could it be something much, much bigger? There's this one theory that suggests we might have it all backwards. What if the brain doesn't create consciousness? What if the brain is more like an antenna or an interface? This quote puts it perfectly. The brain is a translator, a tool that our consciousness uses to interact with the physical world. Here's a really simple way to think about it. Your brain, that's the hardware. It's the physical phone in your hand. But your consciousness, that's the Wi-Fi. The signal isn't in the phone. It's a field of information that the phone tunes into. And if consciousness is like a Wi-Fi field, well, that could definitely explain how 2 phones might be able to connect to each other without any wires. But here's the thing. When these intuitive hits start happening more and more, it's not always this exciting, amazing experience. For a lot of people, the very first reaction is actually fear. But what if that fear isn't a stop sign? What if it's actually a sign that you're leveling up? I mean, this is such a powerful way to look at it. When your awareness starts to go beyond what your logical mind knows and can neatly file away, yeah, it can feel really unsettling. But this idea suggests that fear is just your system's alarm bell saying, whoa, you're tapping into something new here, something bigger. You're stepping outside your comfort zone, and that's naturally going to feel a little scary. Now, if you take away only one thing from our entire chat today, please let it be this. It is so easy to mix up the feeling of anxiety and fear with a real intuitive warning. But they are not the same thing. They have a totally different energy, a different texture, and they come from very different places.
Okay, so how in the world do you tell the difference? How do you learn to tune into that quiet, steady hum of intuition when the loud, clanging alarm of anxiety is going off? Let's break down a super practical guide.
This little table is an absolute game changer. Just look at the differences. Fear is loud. It's urgent, it's repetitive, it's always asking, what if? It feels tight and panicky in your body. Intuition, though, it's calm. It's neutral. It's just a steady, quiet knowing. It doesn't scream at you. So think about it. When you get that telepathic hit that someone is nearby, but then you're too afraid to act on it, which voice is talking? Is it the calm, clear knowing, or is it that loud, chaotic fear? That fear is exactly what can shut down a real connection before it even has a chance. Learning to tell these two apart is everything. And please, remember this. Exploring your intuition doesn't mean you're just flinging open the doors to anything and everything. You are always in the driver's seat. You get to decide how fast or slow you go, and you can absolutely hit the pause button whenever things feel like a little too much. So the next time that wave of fear or overwhelm starts to build, try this simple 3-step process. First, just pause. Stop. Don't try to analyze it. Second, ground yourself. Literally feel your feet on the floor. Take one deep breath. And third, once you've got a little space, just listen. Notice the quality of that feeling inside you. Is it calm or is it chaotic? Learning to hear that quiet voice is how you learn to trust the connection and move past the fear that holds you back. Which, of course, brings us all the way back to the biggest question of all. All these experiences, all this research, it all seems to be pointing in the same direction, challenging what we thought we knew. If we are more than our physical bodies, if our minds can truly connect across space and time, what does that really say about the nature of who and what we really are?